I'm Andy Hill, co-head of Market Practice and Regulatory Policy at ICMA, and I'm delighted to be joined today by Ruth Yang, who is Managing Director and Global Head of Private Market Analytics at S&P Global Ratings. So Ruth, we've seen a significant growth in private credit markets over recent years, and it would be really good to get your perspective on what is driving this growth. What are the dynamics underlying the buzz around private credit?
Well, I think when we think about what is making this market so important and so front and center right now, we also have to remember that what we've seen in the last decade is a scaling up and an evolution of a market that's almost probably 50 years old in the United States. And so it originates in the SME, small to medium-sized enterprise direct lending. The thing that cleared the runway for its presence today in the market, though, is really the rise of broadly syndicated. And I always remind people, like, broadly syndicated is a private placement asset. It is not a security, and it uses a public rating to facilitate the market mechanism of syndication, right? So I think the debt capital markets have gotten very comfortable with a private placement asset being a competitive part of the debt capital markets versus a bond. And then what we've really seen is private credit grew up in the background, funding small to medium-sized enterprises. And then in 2022 and 2023, when there was dislocation in the bond and loan markets, private credit showed that it was going to step front and center, that it was not only going to do SME lending, but it could lend $1 to $5 billion transactions, right, in a club style. And in 2022 and 2023, when bonds and the broadly syndicated market kind of stepped back, private credit was able to step in and do a lot of those deals instead of the market shutting down. And then I think last year was kind of the last test, which was as broadly syndicated came back online, what was going to happen, right? And we saw both things which were very important. Broadly syndicated showed that it was a resilient asset class. It was a force to be reckoned with. And there had been some questions in 2022 and 2023. Would it come back? And it definitely did. And at the same time, private credit showed that it was also here to stay. And I think where we end up today is in a time of a lot of volatility and uncertainty, when you need different tools in the debt capital structure, different tools to deploy depending on what your need is and the quality of the borrower, you now have bonds with broadly syndicated and private credit there to fund. And I think it's an important part as we face challenging times, all of the volatility and uncertainty. There's a lot more uncertainty today about economic strength and resilience than there was at the end of 2024. It's important that borrowers have a lot of options.
Fantastic. Thank you.
My pleasure. Thank you.